Shalom, when the start of Salzburg, giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Ka'akadash, double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, with whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. His son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, meaning in, meaning Dan Sham, meaning names Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. This is a highly demonic time of year, right? We're coming into this festival here called, I have always pronounced it Samhain, but when you actually look at this is called IPA, which I forgot what that actually stands for. IPA, something pronunciation. I would have thought it was here. A bit easier to see what it exactly stands for, but it basically allows you, international, I can't read, international phonetic alphabet, right? Helps you just pronounce things easily, right? So you see this is Sawin, Sawin, something like that, right? It says is and these articles, sent to me by brother Paya Allah, to the order to him. Right, I'm just going to read some of them, get a few precepts, right? So it says, Samhain is a Gaelic festival on 1st of November, marking the end of the harvest season and beginning of winter or darker half of the year. It is also the Irish language name for November. Celebrations begin on the evening of the 31st of October. So that's what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing people going out, trying to have fun and mirth it out, right? But those events, man, they're demonic, right? Scriptures talk about that mirthdom spirit, right? This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 1 and 2 says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, right? For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. So for example, on Saturday, which because people work these days, and in these kinds of cycles that we do, right? Basically it's a thing where people will hold the festivities for this day like on the weekend, on the Friday or the Saturday, as opposed to on the day itself. But like on Saturday, here it is, we was Spirit had Brook Michelle was out there, in the camp, doing the work. But what did you have all around us? On the way to the camp, you saw scantily clad women, right? You saw thirsty geezers going around, linking up basically with these individuals. So linking up, but basically all going together to go and basically be in the house of mirth, right? So sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better, right? Because when we're going through things, that's when we're growing, right? So when I'm reading that, that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. It says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, right? And you precept this with Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, and it speaks about should we then make mirth, right? It contemneth, the let me just get it, Salakia. Ezekiel 21 and 9, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished, right? So that's what you're seeing, and it's beautiful, because right now, the Lord is basically having all these different armies amass, in the Middle East region, right? You're having Esau finalizing his weaponry and whatever, what have you, but people are just out here bullshit and partying, right, without a care in the world, without a knowledge of anything, right? It says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? Because the Lord is going to use this devil, right, this Edomite, to basically put a whole load of people out of their wicked existence, out of their misery, right? So it is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? And the answer to that is no, right? Contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Okay, so that's it, and which is also when you so let me read it and I'll make the point. It says it is read that it says this is about halfway between the autumnal equinox and winter solstice, right? So it is once again a demonic period. Right? It says it is one of the four Gaelic seasonal festivals, along with Imbolc, Beltane, and Nasa. I've pronounced that wrong. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, the Isle of Man, where it's called Samhain. A similar festival is held by the Brittonic people called Calan Gaith in Wales. Okay, so then this was the original link that was rather story that was shared. It said Samhain is the pagan origin of Halloween, right? And when you look at a load of these different holidays, right, that are celebrated in this world, a lot of them just go back to, if not all of them, right, just go back to witchcraft, right? Especially there's one of the priests we're going to get, one of what was coming up right after this. We're going to have Christmas, right? But that's another pagan holiday. Okay. It says, and its terrifying rituals include human sacrifices and pumpkins filled with burning human fat. And even in our law, right, we're not even supposed to eat, meat with the fat, right, like that. Okay, so the fact that even using burnt is human, that's just like what, but this is the heathens. This is what heathens do. Okay, so Halloween is more than makeup tutorials and dressing your dog as a pumpkin. It is the night the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead raises up, and the spirits of our ancestors walk amongst us. And that's what this Edomite will do, right? In this world, he's basically repackaged a load of this highly demonic days, right, as light family fun, right? Now, what has that particular thing happened before? Yeah, you look at how was it like Christmas, Easter, right, and their pagan origins was basically massaged into the scriptures, right? But ultimately all of those things are wicked, right? So it says, I'm gonna have to read this quick because there's quite a bit in here, right? It says Halloween is regarded as the witches' Sabbath, right? The equivalent of their New Year's Eve, right? And once again, just like the New Year's Eve on the 31st of December, that's another, would you call it, pagan day, because that is still the dead of winter, right? The new year is round about the same time as spring, right? I.e., when new life is coming in to the world. Okay, and you see here, this is a wicker man. You see basically putting. You see these people in here tied. They get thrown in here, and then eventually they get burnt. Right, so the Druids had many ways of sacrificing humans, one of which was packing them in giant burning effigy of a man. Its roots lie firmly in the old pagan holiday of Samhain, which along with May 1st, right? So May 1st, November 1st, right, was regarded as one of the most important days of the year, right? And once again, around about this May 1st period, you also have a lot of wickedness happen, death or this or whatever, right? I believe that's this period of the Feast of the Beast. It says on Samhain, it is believed that the veil lifted between the worlds of the living and the dead, allowing spirits, demons, and other mythical creatures such as fairies a chance to walk among us. But the reality of Halloween through the eyes of the Celts and Druids is scarier than any horror film, right? And that's it. They were actually doing these things, actually burning people. Okay, actually just as it says, to basically, in fact, let me read this bit. It says, people claimed the ancient Druids ate their firstborn children on Samhain, right? Or collected the blood of their sacrificial humans in cauldrons and drank it, right? And it's ironic because it's saying that, but then what you have underneath here, right? Hollywood's made this a fun family get together. Yeah, dad, gets the kids together and they carve jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that, but this is a seriously demonic day. Okay, it says the stories got gory, claiming that hollowed out pumpkins and turnips would be filled with fat from the previous sacrifices and lit. Right, it was the arrival of the Romans in 55 BC that signaled the start of the end of the Druid culture in the UK. Right. It says it was traditional to light a candle and place it in the window to guide the spirits of the ancestors and loved ones home. Then what else in here? You got like a Ouija board and this stuff, and this is it. People will play with these things like these. It's funny, right? I remember growing up in school, there was a girl or a girl and a guy. I forget the exact story, but people, were my brothers, yeah, that played with one of these, and then death followed, man. Okay, these things ain't to be played with. These things ain't jokes. But that's one of the things. He has made it seem like this is all fun and games. Okay, but the left hand side is very real. Right, the left hand side is very real. Right, and when you understand the scriptures, you understand that they work for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So this is Sirach 39, right, and 28. Right, it says there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. So when you think of like demons and evil spirits, the Lord created them. Right, it says in the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right, so when these demons get allowed out into the world, right, and the Lord allows them to do whatever it is that demon has been tasked to do, right, when they do it, the Lord is Yahweh is pleased. He's like, yeah, that's nice. That's what I want. Okay. Fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpion serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Okay. So going on, it says a portion of each food and drink must be a portion of each food and drink served must be placed onto their plate or on their cup throughout the meal, which must be eaten in total silence, right? And that's it. So then looking at these people thinking it's just some kind of joke. I don't know if I'm going to read all of this. I'm just try and remember where, because we're ready. A couple of minutes in, just see if I can remember where there was some good points. I forget where the points are in this. Right, yeah, so I'll just read this. This is the Druids, what was it, circa, maybe? 54 BC. So I'm just seeing. But basically, this is going into how they were basically very highly esteemed, right? And how they kind of moved, throughout, from England to France and stuff like that, right? But also goes into basically saying how, look, man, what these druids said, that was it. That was the basically that was law, that was gospel, if you will, right? Back in them days, right? So let me. Alright, it says the whole Gallic nation is virtually a prey to superstition, and this makes the serious invalids or those engaged in battle or dangerous exploits sacrifice men instead of animals, right? So it's a thing like when we would go to war, right? We may have put down a sacrifice, right? But it was a righteous sacrifice. But basically, it's saying these guys, instead of doing animals, they would sacrifice men, right? In the hopes that the demons would be with them, right? And hey, let us not be mistaken. This is what is happening right now, right? When you're seeing all of this death and destruction that's happening throughout the world, these false flags and stuff like that on certain days, right? Certain demonic days, we rest assured that those are demonic high holy days. Okay, that's why it says in Isaiah 47 chapter. Right, where is it from? Let me see where to start. I'll just jump straight to the point, right? Verse Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, right? From America's inception, it's just been, by ways of witchcraft, right? Now, these enchantments and these sorcerers, you rest assured that this involves blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, right? I mean, even as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, it kind of explains why they chose to start doing these massacres right over there in that land at this period of time. Okay, it says, wherein thou hast lived from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Right? So basically, the Lord's mocking. Right? In these two verses, mock is like, oh yeah, all of that witchcraft. Let's see if it's going to save you. See if it's going to help you. Okay. And then this one, this is from Medium, Origin of Halloween, right? I'm just going to jump straight to the point. So basically, historically, All Hallows Eve, also known as Halloween, is a celebration observed in many countries on October 31st, right? This is the word Halloween comes from the Old English All Hallows Eve. The word hallow means holy, so All Hallows Eve means the eve of all holy days, okay? Yeah, once again says, basically the eve of their new year, right? But once again, the new year is in spring, right? Not at the time of everything just withering away and dying, right? It says some of the traditions we associate with Halloween today, such as carving jack-o'-lanterns and telling scary stories, can be traced back to Samhain. The Celt Druids believed that on Samhain the veil between the living and the dead was thin, and that the spirits could cross over into the world of the living. They would carve turnips or other vegetables into lanterns to ward off evil spirits. So jack-o'-lantern is a figure from Irish folklore. He was drunk, who tricked the devil into climbing a tree and then carved a cross on the trunk to trap him there, right? Just fables, right? As Jack made a deal with the devil that he would not be taken to hell when he died, right? However, when Jack died, right, he was not allowed into heaven either. The devil gave him a burning ember to light his way, and he wandered the earth in eternal darkness, right? Jack put the ember in the hollowed out turnip, which became the first jack-o'-lantern, right? And when it went to Americas, it became a It became a pumpkin, okay? So once again, just fables, right? But people are falling into these fables, right? Into these, into these, heathenistic customs, right? This is Jeremiah 10:2, right? And this basically goes into Christmas, right? I'm just going to get the second verse, right? So thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, right? There's all of this stuff, man. It's heathenistic stuff, man, right? There's a word outlandish, right, which literally means out of this land, i.e. heathen, right? This isn't our customs, okay? This is, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them, right? And I said, the next couple of verses go into Christmas, right, which is another demonic period. Right, it says, and has nothing to do with the scriptures. This is the only time when the scriptures refer to Christmas. It says, Exodus 22:18, straight into the point, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Right, all of this witchcraft that these articles are references and going into, right? But what is he being able to do by way of his Hollywood? He's basically made it into a day where everyone, wants to partake into it. Yeah, it's just a bit of fun, mate. It's just a bit of fun. Right, well, we'll go and see if it's fun when the Most High is judging. Right, now this is to do with these, those wicked ass Canaanites, right? But this thing of human sacrifice and all of these weird witchcraft things was happening back then. So it says Wisdom 12:3, for it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy land whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, right? And what we're reading here, right, is about wicked sacrifice, right? It's and the Lord hates that. Okay, so it says, and all those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. What did we just hear? With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. Okay, so we're reading here that the Lord hated that. And yet people in this world want to, relive those, basically do those things. Right, as if it's just fun and games. It ain't fun and games. Okay, so as always, Lord's Wood, I was edified. Lord's, if I remember, I'll put these links in the description. You can read it in your leisure. Until next time, we say Shalom.